Okay, fourth graders. So the last time that we got together, we were taking a look at perimeter, which is the distance around a rectangle. Now we're going to be taking a look at area, which is the amount of surface that a figure covers. And area has a formula too. We've got our length, we've got our width. In order to find the area, you just multiply them. Easiest thing in the world. Length times width. So if we're finding the area of this red rectangle, I'm going to take the length, which is 19 inches, the width, which is 14 inches, and if the formula says area is length times width, all I do is multiply them. 19 times 14. And I can do that, putting it to the side. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Then 1 times, oh, Smiley McDoodle, of course. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. Add them together, and we get 266. So then the area is going to be 266 square inches. And really what we did there is we found out that if I were to take this and put, 14 columns and then 19 rows, I would find out that if I counted up all of the little squares on the inside, there would be 266 little squares on the inside. That's what the area is finding for us. So just remember, area is length times width. Say it with me. Area equals length times width. Area equals length times width. Okay, nicely done. So number one, area is length times width. What is 6 times 4? 24. But remember, it's not just 24 meters. It's not perimeter. So it's 24 square meters. Because if I were to take a look at the columns and the rows, and I were to have 4 columns and 6 rows, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 24 squares in the middle. Okay, so number 2, I'm going to take my length times my width. I'm going to do the good old-fashioned kick and squish. So now 2 times 2 is 4. Oh, was delayed a little there. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So I have 240 square yards. Don't forget about the square. Number 3, I've got length times width, 77 square centimeters. Then for number 4, I've got length times width. So I'm going to take 5 times 1, which is 5. And then 5 times 1/2 would give me 5 halves. But you guys know that 2 halves make a whole, right? So I could actually take out 4 halves and still have a half. And these 4 halves would make another 2 holes. So really, I've got 5 holes plus 2 more holes gives me 7, and that little half left over. Square feet. Okay, moving on. This one's going to go so fast. Do you see it? Oh, it's beautiful. Length times width, area. So 35 times 32. Multiplying 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Smiley McDoodle face. Then 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. When I add them together, I get 520 square millimeters. Number 6, we have 4 and 2/8 times 9. So 9 times 4 and 2/8. First, I take 9 times 4, which is 36. And I take 9 times 2/8. Well, 9 times 2 is 18, right? So I'd have 18/8. Well, how many holes can I pull out of that? Well, if I count my 8s, I have 8, 16, 24. 24 is too high. I only have 18. So 8, 16. 16/8, which is the same thing as 2 more holes, right? And if I take out those 16/8, I would still have 2 more because I have 18 total. So now put my holes together. 36 plus 2 more holes is 38 holes, and I have 2/8. And then we've got square inches. All right, number 7, length times width. 8 times 5.5. First, I do 8 times 5. Then I do 8 times a half. 8 times 1 is 8, so 8 halves. Now, if I'm thinking of halves, I know that 2 of them make a whole, so I can count by 2s and find out how many holes I have. 2, 4, 6, 8. Ding, 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 right on the money. And when I did that, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 halves is equal to 4 more holes. So I have 40 holes plus 4 more gives me 44. So I have 44 square feet. Number 8, length times width. 7 times 9 is 63. Ooh, just about to put a 36. 63. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 6 is 55. Smiley McDoodle. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 2 is 23. Add them together. Except, my goodness, I can't add today. 7 plus 5 is 12. My goodness. And then 5, 3, and 1 makes 9. And we have a 2. So 2,923 square centimeters. Moving on down to 9. It says you are installing wall-to-wall carpet in a rectangular bedroom that is 10 feet long and 9 feet wide. How many square feet of carpet do you need? Well, it's asking us for how much area we are going to take up with the carpet, right? How much surface area. And it says that it's 10 feet long and 9 feet wide. So length times width. 90 square feet. Number 10. Newton says the area of the rectangle is 33 square meters. Descartes says the area is 33 meters. Who's correct and explain? Well, really, if we take a look at how they differ, Newton has the word square there. Descartes does not. Well, which one are we talking about when we are talking about area? Are we talking about square units or just plain old units? I hope you remember we're talking about square units. So we would say that Newton is correct because when we are talking area, we are talking about square units. Okay, number 11. Write a formula for the area of a square that has a side length of s. Then use your formula to find the area of the square shown. Well, I know that it's length times width, right? Well, if this side is s and this side is s, then in order to find the length times the width, wouldn't it just be s times s? And if that's true, then let's do it as 12 times 12. And I happen to know, many of you know already, that 12 times 12 is 144. So we have 144 square yards. That's the most ridiculous Y I think I've ever written in my life. Okay, now think and grow modeling real life. Example, the length of the rectangular dance floor is 6 feet longer than the width. What's the area? Well, here's the width. It's 6 feet longer than that, just meaning we're going to add another 6. That would be 30. Now that we know that our length is 30, we can take our length times our width. And I'm going to do the good old-fashioned kick and squish. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 720. So the area is 720 square feet. Number 12, a designer creates a rectangular advertisement for a website. The length of the advertisement is 1.5 centimeters longer than the width. What is the area? This right here, the length is 1.5 centimeters longer. So if I'm adding 1.5 more, that would make my length 8.5 centimeters. So I am finding 7 times 8.5. Well, 7 times 8 is 56. And 7 times 1 is 7, so that's 7 halves. Now, guys, I can count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8 is too high. 2, 4, 6 halves. I'll still have 1 half in order to make the 7. And when I do that, 6 halves are equal to 3 wholes. So 56 holes plus 3 more holes is going to give me 59 holes. And then I have this half left over. Square centimeters. Number 13. You create a mural using 4 rectangular posters that are each 4.5 feet long and 2 feet wide. You put the posters next to each other with no gaps or overlaps. What is the area of the mural? Well, if we have 4 of them, okay, and we're going to put them all next to each other, wouldn't we basically just find the area of one of them and then go ahead and multiply that by 4? So if I'm going to do that, I have a length of 4 and of 1/4 and a width of 2. So 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 1/4 is 2/4. Now that's the area of one poster, but it says here I have 4 of them. So I have to multiply that by 4. So 8 times 4 is 32, and then 2/4 times 4 would be 8/4, right? Because 4 times 2 is 8. And if you know anything about 8/4, you know that it takes 4/4 to make 1 hole. So 8/4 would equal 2 more holes. So 32 holes plus 2 more holes would give me 34 square feet. Number 14. 2 rolls of wrapping paper have the same price. The red roll is 3 feet wide and 10 yards long when unrolled. The striped roll is 3.5 feet wide and 8 yards long when unrolled. Which roll is the better buy? Well, guys, it's apples and oranges right now. Let's change these so that it's apples to apples, okay? So instead of 10 yards, I'm going to change that to feet, and I know that there are 3 feet in each yard. So this is really going to be 30 feet. And then this guy here, there are 3 feet in every yard, so 8 times 3 is going to be 24 feet. Now what I can do is I can actually find out the areas, okay? So I can find the area for the red roll by taking 3 times 30, length times width, it's 90 square feet. And then the striped roll is 24 feet times 3.5. And 24 times 3 is 72. 24 times 1/2 would be 24 halves, right? And if I count by twos, I know that I have 72 holes, and 24 halves are actually going to give me 12 more holes. So 72 holes plus 12 more holes gives me 84 more holes. Which one's the better buy? If they're the same price and the red roll gives me 90 square feet, and then the striped roll gives me 84 square feet, wouldn't we say that the red roll is a better deal because it gives me more square footage? Absolutely. So for your assignment today, you guys are going to be taking a look at finding the area of a rectangle using the formula length times width, length times width, length times width. Then for your review, you are going to take a look at finding the quotient. And remember, find the basic fact. I'm going to help you with number 12. The basic fact is 24 divided by 8. And 24 divided by 8 is? Yes, 3. And then, of course, we have 2 zeros. So that would be 300. All right, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I miss you. Stay safe. Love you. See you soon.